Hey, good morning guys, Anthony, 4x4 Diesel. Okay, this one, again, we've said it before, I've written it, said it, videoed it, posted it here, posted it there, but a lot of people miss it, okay? So now's the time, this is your warning. If you're missing the important information, you're probably not getting anywhere else, you want to subscribe and turn that bell on to keep up to date with it. When you've got a question, search. Use the search functions on our channels or on our groups and you'll most likely find your information. This one's to do with glow plugs, okay? There's a bit of confusion. Every engine's different, okay? So let's be clear about which glow plugs you want to change regularly, which ones you don't want to touch, and of course, bit of procedures and problems that can go with changing and removing glow plugs, and a few, you know how we go, a little bit off topic related information, probably include a bit of compression test information, this sort of things that come to mind. So let's get started. Now, glow plugs, back to basics for those people that don't know. We're not going to go into exactly what they do, but what and where are the glow plugs on this engine? We've just temporarily reinstalled, we haven't torqued them up or anything like that. We just put them in place for demonstration purposes. These are the glow plugs. Now, just quickly, you might notice that they look a bit different. You might not notice actually, so I'll just point it out. The front two, so this is a 1kd engine and it's a 1kd head. Not a lot of difference really. The head's the main difference, but it's kind of really similar. Glow plugs going in similar places and same threads and all that sort of thing, right? They are the same thread, I can confirm. And if I remember correctly, look, I really, don't hold me to it, but it's 10 by, is it 1.25 or 1.5? One or the other anyway. I could probably have a look at the thread and work that out. But anyway, we'll get to that maybe later in the video. Doesn't really matter. What does matter is a lot of people are either not watching the video, and this includes people that seem to be doing the right thing. They've sourced the injectors from me, injectors, pipes, the kit, so they can do the maintenance, making sure they've got those brand new genuine injectors. And the next really important thing is procedure and techniques you use to do the job so that it can last just as long or longer, probably not long, well, longer because of the parts, not the procedures, right? Just as long or longer than it did originally the first time. Why longer? Well, if you do the job, the physical labor repair side of it just as good as the factory or better, then you're in line with that. The parts you've got are better than what were put in the engine at factory, of course, because time's gone by, whether it's 8, 10, 15 years, depending on which 1kd you got. That's what we're sort of talking about at the moment. Things are better, they improve things. We've talked about that in other videos. Now, so at the front here, we've got two 1kd glow plugs, right? And here we've got two 1kz glow plugs. Now, this is not what you would normally do exactly, but if you're going to take them out, these 1kd glow plugs, I'll advise you not to, okay? Don't touch them. There's probably a video called Don't Touch Them or Don't Touch This. And you know what? You should search my channel anyway, because if there is one that's called Don't Touch Them, Don't Touch This, Don't Do This, it's probably a warning saying to not do something, and it's based on experience. Whether we've seen it experienced or quite often we don't. Quite often it's somebody's come to us and said, hey, oh no, I did this or whatever. So we go, oh right, and then we help them through that with a solution, because that's how we roll if they're our clients. Then sometimes it happens to someone else, and that's where I go, well, okay. And then, if it happens too many times, if I hear about a few, there's probably more than a few going on, like that radiator, the thing busting off the radiator. We never broke one, but we've fixed one, so I can confirm, depending how it breaks, you may be able to fix it. I'll just quickly say, off topic, but we used the rapid fix. Basically, it was broken, I don't know, about halfway. We fold the support barbs close to the radiator down a little bit so we could get the hose on a little bit more. We used the original clamp on that point, I think, but I'm not sure. But I think we had enough meat left to clamp onto, but just for bonus sake, because I thought it's not going to hurt, I'll rapid fix the rest of it on as well, just to give us a bit extra. I'm not even sure if we even might have double clamped it to be sure, but what using the rapid fix did, it made the hose grip on really well. So it was like, once it was all glued up, because it made it a little bit bigger, it was a rougher finish, so it was not going to slip off, right? And then what we did, we made sure we put the clamp further up and tight enough. So I don't know, we may have used enough. I can't remember, you know. There's a video on it somewhere. I really don't know. It was a couple of years ago. Had someone here, a couple of guys. We're doing some jobs together. as in, owners, clients, two mates came together, two cars, working on one, working on the other, a bit of DIY stuff going on, and yeah, he leant on it. So anyway, it's the precaution for everyone is don't lean on it. But now back on this topic, just gave you that bit of feedback because some people did have that question saying, hey, so what did you use to fix it, right? Rapid fix is what I used. I'm not saying it's the best thing, but it worked damn well for what I could see. And as far as I know, it's still like that today. And as I said, it was, a couple of years ago. Back to these. So 1KD glow plugs. Don't touch them. Now this is why, okay? Let's just zip one out, right? Now normally, obviously you wouldn't just do this, but we've just temporarily installed, as I said. Now this is what they look like, okay? That's what they look like. That's what they always look like, except for when they don't look like that. No, if nobody's had them out, that's what they look like. But I just want to show you quickly with this one, and you may be able to see, I'll just point to the thread. It's around about 2 or 3 threads in. See there's a bit of alloy in that thread there, right? And that's what happens. That was the first time these had been ever removed from the engine. Maybe a factory used some sort of anti-seize, may have worked, may or may not have, I don't know. Look, but we don't, with these, right, we've never really heard of a problem, seen a problem. All the ones we've had out, you can, give them a bit of a tap around, whatever you like, right, as much as you like, really. Sorry, head, but it's not going to hurt you there, is it? Right, I just want to show you, they weren't even about to break off. There's no cracks. They're not deteriorating like what happens with the 1KZ glow plugs. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Now, that's why somebody said, oh, I haven't found anything about the glow plugs. Well, if we don't talk about it on that engine, we don't need to, if we don't talk about it, don't touch it. So you don't need to sort of go, well, oh, you haven't told us about the glow plugs. If I'm not there's a lot of things I haven't told you about. If we're not talking about it, it doesn't matter. We talk about the most important things, okay? So, and authentically, with demonstration of why. It's authentic as it gets, guys, like I'll do the best I can. I've got to demonstrate for you why, so that, because, a lot of people, they haven't got any trust, and I understand because there's a lot of people you can't trust. So if I'm putting information out there, I'm going to make sure it's right, because the last thing you want is to put information out there that's wrong, right? Now, I'm going to add this little bit. There has been a couple of workshops that reckon, oh yeah, we've had them, whatever. Well, I shouldn't say workshops, one workshop, but all the other dozens or 100 I speak to, they're like, nah. So I don't know if they're confused with 1KZ, 1KD, or they think that this is the cause of a cracked piston or something like that, They're saying, oh, the pistons hit the tips. I'm like, mate, you're dreaming. Anyway, whatever. One workshop, I'm not going to name it, doesn't matter, but they're in a bit of a funny state and a funny place and all that sort of stuff, so could be anything. So don't worry about it. I'll just let that sit there so you can have a look at it, right? So 1KDs, don't touch it, in my opinion. Now, let's just say you can't help yourself and you want to get them out. Now, yeah, I'm not going to say I'm the absolute expert at getting these out. You want to talk to an absolute expert about that one, but what I've found is, I like to clean things, right? So you might want to give it a good wash, clean, dry. You get your compressed air, like this, and you just, just make sure you got everything out of there. You might want to spray some CRC inox type product, let it soak in there. You might want to just try it first, So generally what's going to happen is, what I've experienced with glow plugs in different engines is, hey, usually they come out, but there's a lot of people now. There's a lot of these engines, so it's not a big problem. There's a lot of these engines, but in consideration of how many there are and how many people listen to us saying don't touch the glow plugs, how many problems there are seems to be people insisting on taking glow plugs out for whatever reason, and a lot of people, small numbers, but a lot of people, we've heard from a lot of people that have had problems, okay? So that's where I say, look, don't touch them. You're just going to get, if you muck this up and you can't fix it, then it's going to turn into a big job, head off, manifolds off, bang, head bolts, gaskets, send it away. What? Because you couldn't leave the glow plug alone. You know what I mean? So you've just got to sort of weigh it up and go, is it worth it? Now, but I've got to do a compression test. Okay. In the 1KZ, personally, I haven't any issues getting those glow plugs out. We'll get to those in a minute. But it is real important to change them. So we'll get to those in a minute. Basically, if you've got to do a compression test on a 1KD, right, This is where you leave these things in there, sealed the way they are, you leave it alone, right? And you use the compression test adapter that goes here. Now what it does is, normally when you do a compression test on a diesel, you use it's a glow plug adapter, you know, and it screws in there. It's got a one-way valve on it type thing, and connects up, and away you go, right? Now this is what everyone's used to, and that's cool, I get that. But if you've got an engine or engines, and there's other engines as well, these, you know, there's not like the problem thing. It's just, I'm telling you what can happen. Leave the damn things alone, okay? Now, if you've got to take them out, generally they're going to sort of crack loose. They might just keep coming out. Once you've cracked them loose, you may want to apply some, you know, whatever you want, you know what I mean? You get my drift though, lubrication. Now, sometimes when they're coming out, if the alloy's gripped in any part of the thread, like that one we showed you before, you know, this one here, you know, and you got a few bits of alloy there. The problem is, and see how far that is, that's right in there. There's a good chance, one, that if that's stuck in that thread and it's got to come out, that's going to possibly rip more of the thread out here on the way out. Possibly. It might not. It might just be a small amount and it minces up and it comes out and you go, oh my God, and you get that funny feeling in your stomach and all that sort of thing. And you find the right tap and you know, give it a clean up and you go, oh, how much fell in on the piston? I can tell you pistons have dealt with much worse things and you got away with it. So probably not a big deal, but ideally, if you've got a little, get a tube, you know, sealed up on, and then you vacuum and stick it on there and suck it out and all that sort of stuff afterwards, or of course use grease and lubricant and stuff, and when you're re-tapping that, and hopefully it'll stick, and just go in and out a lot, you know what I mean? Get it out, clean it, more grease back in, so hopefully nothing's going to fall in. It's going to stick to your the you know, the what do you call it, you know, tap and die biz, you know what I mean? Yeah, that you're tapping it out, right? So you want it to stick to that, get it out, clean it, re-clean lube sort of thing. That's, take your time, right? Don't panic, don't rush. If you rush and panic and everything, that's where, and stop and think. Remember my other video, did you watch that? It's called Think, Think, Think. This is what I'm talking about. People, everybody's been brainwashed, okay? Everybody's been brainwashed into being a consumer and just boom, 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 you know, like whatever, kind of like the sheep. You just got to stop and think, okay? When it comes to stuff like this, what is the best course of action? Take a breath. Let me go and hit Google. Let me go and search Ant's videos and see what he says about this, whatever. And if you watch this, hopefully you got it figured out. So, you know, take your time slowly. Make sure it's all square. Oh, look, oh no, look, you know, you've got all your manifold and your EJR in the way. Stop. Take it off. Do that extra work to get that out of the way so you've got all this access here so you can see what's going on when it comes to this. I'm not saying you got to do that. I'm saying you got to do that. If you have a problem and you know, and it comes out in half the thread and you're going to have a chance of fixing it while it's on there, then do it while it's on there. Then obviously get your new glow plug. Well, if you're going to take the glow plugs out, you're definitely going to put new ones in, right? So get your new glow plugs, bang, put it in, torque it up, make sure, you know, that you're pretty sure that it's sealed. And then it's going to come to, well, do you do a compression test? So you still need those compression test tool. You can get on eBay, right? We had them designed and engineered many years ago. K-On 4x4 is the seller on eBay. I think each one is about $89. If you contact them directly, and you know, basically on their website, what is it, kon.com.au, and contact them. Say Anthony 4x4 Diesel sent me. I'm in the trade and I want to grab 4 diesel compression testers, right? And what happens is then, instead of putting your glow plug adapter directly into the head, you have those in your compression test tool, and you can use them on just about, well, you know, a lot of the Toyota or anything with the similar Denso injector. It's a dummy injector, if you like. So any engine that's got that same sort of injector setup, of course, you're going to be able to use the exact same tool on the engine. It's really handy. It's every workshop should have one, really. So instead of touching this, you would use that. Okay, so getting it out, back and forth slowly, you know what I mean? Take your time slowly, back and forth, lubricant, and say your prayers, keep everything crossed and all that sort of thing. Sometimes you're going to get it out. Now, there's been some other issues where people have had them out. Maybe they haven't put them back in properly. You know, perhaps some lubrication's a good idea. There has been people that have pulled them out. I think I've seen photos of them busted about here, somewhere like there. I can't remember. I'm just going from memory. People send me crazy photos and I go, wow, and then I'm back to work and you just churn over for a minute. You go, hope that never happens to me, you know. So another reason not to touch them, okay, because, you know, if something's going on down here and it's a bit like seized up, let's just say, for example, okay, so, you know, at the end of the day, there's a couple of, you know, look, I don't know what to say. Just leave them alone, really, is the best thing I can tell you. But if you get them out, obviously put new ones in, so then you can leave them alone next time, but we don't see any issues. Okay, so let's get another one of these out, right? You're certainly not going to use a tool like that on them when you're taking them out. They're not going to come out that easy, right? In a dream, right? Okay, so let's get those out. That's 1 kd is pretty well covered, isn't it? Don't touch them is the key thing. Get yourself a compression test tool so that you can do the compression test there and not pull those out. If you're doing your injectors and everything, whatever you want, don't take the glow plugs out, right? If you're getting the head done, well, the head people, they can take the head, they can take them out if they want, whatever, you know. They've got it on the bench, they're equipped, they can retap, rethread, whatever they need to do. That's what they do, they're the experts, right? So, advisable you don't do that though, unless you're prepared to go to that next level. Now, okay, now the 1KZ, okay, so the older engine, you know, whatever, it doesn't matter what year it is, 1KZ, whatever, you know the engine. The glow plug tips have a habit of falling off. Sometimes you'll get away with it, or sometimes you'll get away with it for a while, or it's done some damage that you don't know about, or you're not sure about. What's that noise? I'm not sure, maybe. And then it fails later. I had a dream, why am I doing this video? I promise, I had a dream last night that the guts of one of these, okay, we did glow plugs on a 1KZ. Now, quite often, when we do, we'd take them out and we just sit them on the bench. You know, we did a video recently, I don't know if I released it yet, but it wasn't a good example. Sometimes you can just put it on the bench like this and that little tip falls off. Not on these, on the 1KZ ones. All right, let's get one out so we can be clear, right? On these ones. All right. I'll give you an example, right? So see that one? The tip's missing. I don't know how well you can see that. Get a bit of focus happening, right? It's gone. But I had this dream that, I don't know if it was everything in there or that as well, but instead of just being, that's quite a large size tip that's fallen off, so they can break off at different points, you know. Normally that's about, you know, that long, let's say, I don't know, about 10 mil. Let's get the other one out and then we compare. Right, so we'll get the last one out. All right, let's compare the pair. All right, compare the pair. So it depends how much falls off, right? Now, you can see that's quite a bit fallen off. On others, quite often, just, you know, that first 3 or 4 mil will fall off. You've got a better chance of it not doing damage, but look, there's no room for anything there. We've seen photos of those tips embedded into pistons, right? Let's just get the other glow, oh, we're gonna lose it in the engine. Get the other glow plugs up here so you got something to have a look at anyway to compare the pair, right? Compare the pair. Like the superannuation commercial in Australia anyway, on TV. Comparing the different glow plugs for you anyway. So these, it's a problem, okay? So yeah, I had this dream and it wasn't a little bit. I'll tell you what happened, right? In the dreaming about repairing engines, it's ridiculous, isn't it? We've taken one of these glow plugs out and I'm like, you know, careful, 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 just lift it. And just as it's got to here, just out of the engine, without bumping on anything, the guts of it's just gone and fallen out. And I'm like, whoa, yeah, we saved another one. Anyway, it was a dream, so I couldn't make a video about it. This is the best I could do. And that's sort of what motivated the video, but I've got a bit of a list there on videos I need to make, and one of them was glow plugs again, glow plugs again, glow plugs again, because there is still a number of people, as I said, not knowing that how important it is to change these. So if you've got a 1KZ and you don't know they've been changed, make a priority of it and make sure you take it to someone that knows what they're doing. They need to be gently removed and not knocked around, because those tips are literally can be, that's what I was saying, sometimes we just put on the bench softly and it falls off. Now, if you looked at our video, if it's even released, that we did recently, showing you a set of those, you know, we're bang, 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 and nothing's really happening, okay? So that was a good set, that's good. But note, out of those 4 glow plugs, only 3 of them had tips left on there, right? So as much as the other 3 were good and not about to fall off, one already had. Now, did that go straight out the valve clean? Or is there 5, 10, 20, 50, 100 indentations on top of the piston where it got slammed against the head? Is there damage to one of the valves on the way out, or the turbo? Probably not. You know what I mean? Maybe though, you know, that's what I said. So you've really got to make sure on the 1KZ, change those glow plugs every 100,000 Ks is the recommendation. It's a pretty straightforward job, unless it goes pear-shaped, like I said, things getting stuck in, but generally with these ones, we don't see that. We've changed a lot more of these than we have those, and we've had problems with those. As I said, you can see that set right there. Yeah, the one at the back there, right, as I already pointed out. So what else have I got for you on glow plugs? Oh, this will be testing the memory, torque setting, putting them back in. Oh, I can't remember. I think it's 13. A lot of things are 13 though. You know, I'm 99% confident it's 13. This is a really common one I should remember, but I'm telling you, I've got way too many numbers to deal with and a lot more part numbers coming into it as well, which is just a number city, limited space in the thing. So I'm fairly certain on both engines 13, and I'll be looking in the comments, guys, if that's correct or not. If you can put a comment and go, yeah, you're right, it's 13, or nah, you're wrong, it's 14 or 15 or 12 or 18 or 20 or whatever it is, but my money's on 13. Hope you got something out of this. If you didn't do it at the start and you haven't done it already, if you think I've earned your subscription, please subscribe and turn that bell on for your own information, for your own benefit, so you don't miss the important information that's coming. We have talked about this before, as I said at the start. This is the detailed one. When I put them back in, what do I do? Well, and this is the thing, say factory, why do they, you got to ask yourself, why does Japan put them in dry? Why do they do that? I've had some experience with some anti-seize products that sort of dried up and it made the thread, I wish I'd never used it type thing. So I suppose I'm a little bit nervous using products like that sometimes. And a lot of people will say, oh yeah, we've used it for years, but the problem is sometimes when there's a problem, you don't get it back to see the problem. So I'm always a bit cautious of that. Oh yeah, we always use this and whatever, you know. So look, when the head was new, clean and dry, and so were the glow plugs, it was probably okay to put it in without anything on it, but now that the material's a bit older, it's not 100% clean. Yeah, and when you're done, like I said, you can do the vac out. This is just a whatever, and then, you know, make sure it's all clean, vac it, blow it, whatever you want, and just a little bit of, you know, look, I don't know, you could probably use that copper, that Penrite Copperese again. I'm not going to tell you what product to use there. You could probably put a bit of grease on it, you know, the grease will melt, yeah, but it's still wet and lubricated. Oh, look, I don't know the answer, what the best answer is. I'm not going to tell you I'm the expert on being able to tell you what the best lubricant to put on there is. I just keep in mind, Toyota and other manufacturers, they put them on dry, okay? There must be a reason for it. That's one thing, and there is different options, different products you can use, and I'm sure in the comments there'll be some replies saying, you know, this is great, I've used it for 20, 30 years, and we'll welcome those comments because it's open feedback from people with those experiences. If you can, guys, just a quick reminder, if you can avoid putting any swearing in the comments, because we like to be a bit more family friendly, you know, the young people watching as well, so they can learn and get some information. And that, you know, it's not what we want to teach them, really, is it? You know, so if you can, try and refrain. You can't swear. I'm not saying I don't swear, but you know, let's just not write it in the comments. And you know, have you noticed? I think I do fairly well usually to not swear in videos. I'd love to go off like some other people and carry on and swear and that, but not everyone would appreciate that. So, how about some of that in the comments as well? You know, I don't mind if you swear and go off every now and then. And if you do care, let me know. Say, look, I certainly like it clean. I don't want to hear any swearing. I'd like some feedback on that. Whether you would like to hear me when I'm really feeling emotional about something. What? Who's done this? You. And I want to just go off. If you want me to go off, I'm going to balance it, right? If there's enough people that say, nah, keep it clean, don't do that, that's what we're going to do. If nobody says keep it clean and everybody says, yeah, say it how it is, then that's how we're going to go a little bit. I'm not saying we're not going to go wild, but you know, sometimes things have got to be said, you know what I mean? I try and stay cool. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. Hope you got something out of that. If you don't forget to give us the thumbs up. Bada bing. See ya.